Hi everybody, thank you for coming back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Candace St. James and I'm a drag queen that's been performing in the area of Washington for a little over 8 years now. In total of my career in Washington, it's only been a couple years. Today, I am here to show you guys how I do my basic foundation routine for my signature looks. And so many drag queens do their routines differently. I will show you how I do mine. Before we get started, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe in the bottom corner. And let's get fabulous! Before we get started, we need a list of essentials that we're gonna need before we get started. I use a primer for my face. I also go ahead and use Super White by Ben Nye, as well as the Kryolan sticks. I have two, one light and one dark for concealing and highlighting. Then I also use Ben Nye Fair as well as Airspun. I also use a beauty blender, and I use a dark contour shade. This is what I use kind of like for contouring, but this is like basic, but it's from MAC. I also have a concealer as well. This is optional, but you guys can go ahead and figure out if you guys need them. I have a bunch of makeup brushes that I use. I don't use them for my actual foundation part. I use them more for powders. A lot of drag queens will use powder in some form or another, whether it be Airspun. When it comes to the Kryolan stuff, people will mix their liquid concealers with it and then they will dust themselves off later. I don't do that. I use foundation and then I go in with a bunch of powder, and that's how I do mine. One last thing you guys are gonna definitely need in order to do makeup, and this is kind of something that doesn't really apply to your face, it applies to just everything. Go ahead and actually have a shirt that you're not afraid to get dirty, because powder is gonna fly everywhere. And you want to make sure that you can have something that you're not afraid to lose. Do not use your outfit, your dress, whatever you're going to be wearing to perform in. Do not wear that to go ahead and do your makeup, because it's going to get dirty, it's going to get gross, and you have to be flawless. This shirt in particular does not fit me properly, and I'm not afraid to see it go. And so I don't mind if it gets a little bit of powder. Let's get fabulous! So the first thing I do in regards to my foundation is I actually go ahead and I cover up these brows. And if you guys have not yet seen my tutorial on how to do so, it's quite a worthwhile view, so please go ahead and watch that. I will go ahead and be speeding through this, and the next time you guys see me, I will have no brows. I'll be browless. Don't be scared. I promise. They'll be gone. Hey guys, it's me. Don't mean to scare ya, it's just me. Candace St. James. This is what I look like without eyebrows. We are, as drag performers, we are illusionists. We create illusions, and that is what we are doing. We are playing with gender. That's all we do. And so we get rid of our eyebrows and we make ourselves look so ugly at the very beginning, but then it turns out beautiful, like a flower blossoming. And that's what we do. And so for the first step that I do after my eyebrows are covered, I go ahead and I spray my face with a hydrating mist primer. And basically what that does is it opens up your pores and it allows the makeup to really go on smoothly onto your skin. And you don't need too much, you just need a couple spritz and you're good to go. That's all you need. And you just let it fan out a little bit and you are good to go. My next thing I do is I start color correcting, and I start color correcting the areas where I shave typically, because I don't want my beard showing. And please, if you guys are trying to do a drag show, unless you are a bearded queen, please make sure that you color correct your bearded areas, because it does show in the lights. So I go ahead and I got this big zit right here. I'm gonna color correct that with my concealer. And then I also go in my beard area and I start wiping away my beard. So I start all the way up my sideburns. I just kind of go in and I kind of look like Santa Claus for a little while until I get it all blended through, and then you will barely be able to notice it. But as we get our eyebrows covered, it's not quite concealed yet, but as we get closer and closer and we get more makeup on our face, it'll be hardly recognizable. So just so you guys know, by concealing your beard, it does not allow it to cast a blue shadow. So before you conceal, basically if you were to put makeup all over your face, you would see a blue shadow all over your face. And this gets rid of that. It basically comes out a neutral color all around. So this is how we do it. So I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm going to dip it in water, because I've been using this beauty blender for a long time. If I dip it in water, what I do is it'll actually help it glide on smoother. I'm going to use this to go ahead and blend out every little thing and blend all these little streaks together so they don't show anything. They all look like they're meant to be on my face. blend it all together. Please shave before you do all this stuff. And that's the first thing people talk about when they notice you, is because a lot of people have the misconception that drag is supposed to be you imitating a female, and that's not always the case. You know, there are drag kings now who imitate men. There are faux kings, there are bio queens, there are a whole different slew of drags. There's non-binary now, which is kind of on the newer side, I think, because I never really saw that growing up and becoming a queen. I never really saw that. Since we are blended all the way through, I'm gonna go in now with my foundation. So I bought these two Kryolan foundation sticks online. They're Kryolan TV paint sticks, and I bought them in two different shades. And the sad thing is about Amazon, it's great to use. The one bad thing is when it comes to makeup, you can never really swatch. You never really seem to get what looks to be the correct shade for your skin. So because I bought two different shades, I got one, the first time I got it, I got a very dark shade, and then the second time I bought it, I got a very light shade. And I thought that they were the exact same color, or the exact same skin tone as me, but they were not. And so I have to typically go for like 3 or 4 hours away just to go get a nice TV paint stick. So I have to just kind of make do with what I got. So I put a very dark and a very light. And it's okay to go a shade or two darker because, you know, you're playing a character at the end of the day. You know, some people always say to go ahead and use your own skin tone. And if you're gonna be, you know, in my case, if I was gonna be a Caucasian queen, that's fine, you know. But I've always wanted something more olive skin tone. So I typically will go and I use both of them simultaneously, and I try to get a olive or more olive skin tone. So I'm just gonna glide it on the skin. I typically will do my dark first, and then I will always go in with my light. I've seen some queens who try to, they've done on their eye area, they've done really light. At the bottom part of their face, they do really dark because they want to conceal everything. But to me, I find that does not work for me in my particular problem. I also, with my eyebrows, because there's that splotch right here, I go ahead and I go back and forth. This is the only time that you can actually get away with doing that, because you want to go ahead and fill those creases and those holes. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put on a wig cap so I can move my hair out of the way. But I'll put on a wig cap just to go ahead and make sure I get everything and not my hair, because if it gets in your hair, it feels like it's very oily, and I don't like that feeling. And you get your nose, and you get as close to your eye as you can. And then try to get in the inner corner of your nostrils as well. We're gonna blend it through anyway, but if you can get as close to your nostrils as possible, we're gonna go ahead and blend it, and it's gonna look seamless. You always wanna go ahead and go all the way back to as far back as you can, because you never know what is going to be visible to the audience. And I like to go way back. And now, since this is all done as far as the step goes, I'm going to go back in with the lighter color, and I'm going to go ahead and go over it. And you don't want to worry about your ears just yet, because that's going to actually go ahead be our next step. We're going to take care of that in the blending process. So yeah, so you just go ahead and you go over it with the light tone for my skin tone, because I did not get a kind that matched. Unfortunately, I wish it did. It would have been easier, but I have to make do with what I got. These Kryolan paint sticks, they cost about $50 each. They're not cheap, so I make do with what I got for right now. And then I also go down here too. So I want to go ahead. I'm going to contour this later, but I also want to go ahead and make it look like real skin. So I'm going to go down even with this part, because I go in with powders for contour, and you always want to go down as far as you can, because you're in between your neck and your shoulders, your skin changes a color a little bit. So you want to make sure that you go and blend as far as to where your skin changes color. And now, since I look like I just got a tan, a really bad tan, I'm gonna go ahead and now start to blend this with that same beauty blender. And the reason why I went, and I don't know if I said this, but the reason why I go ahead and dipped it in water is because with this is a very thick foundation, and so it'll actually help spread it and blend it together more seamlessly. And most queens, what they'll do is they'll start doing their contour in the middle of doing this step. And so they go and they'll get oil-based concealers. And so what that does is it allows you to go over on this kind of makeup and it'll allow it to do both at the same time. But you just blend, 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 and don't be afraid. And when you doubt, you always want to just go ahead and blend some more. And you always get into your hairline, or as far as your wig cap will let you take it. You always want to get in there because you want to pass as a female, and you don't want to, or as whatever you're trying to pass as, you always want to try to go ahead and blend it perfectly. And I try not to get my eyes, but you know, because I use another product for that. But in all reality, you're gonna get foundation on your eyes, and that's okay, because we're gonna take care of that later. And so with your ears, what you do is now, since you've been blending this away, all you gotta do is just dab it a couple times with this beauty blender, and it'll take care of it right away. And then cold cream will take it out later on. But where that nostril is, you always want to go ahead and get right in there as best as you can. It always takes a minute to blend all the way through. This is probably like the worst, the longest step you'll be doing is a lot of blending and everything that you do. And you always just want to dab it. You just want to dab and press. You don't want to smear, because if you smear, it's going to take off your makeup. So you always want to go ahead and just dab. For right now, especially during this stage, because this stage is one where you have the most oily area. You're dealing with the most oily chemicals. And you always want to go as far back as you can, because yes, your hair will cover it, but if you're doing all these little head spins like that, your hair is going to fly. And you want to give off that illusion. We are illusionists, that's what we do as performers. We have to make people believe we are who we are, and what character we're playing, even if it's just for a night. We're there to entertain them. We're there to give them a show. You know, you're a character. You know, you're playing a character for them, and people come to see you, and people come to see what you are bringing to the table. So I think that since we're now completely blended, we're gonna go ahead and go in with some powder. And this is just that air spun stuff that I was showing you guys. It's the same stuff I cover my eyebrows with. I use it quite a bit. Most people, like I said, when they do their contour, they'll start carving their cheeks out, and they go ahead and they do it like that, and that becomes it becomes very easy for them to go ahead and contour. Please go ahead and apply a generous amount of powder. And be generous with this stuff, because this stuff is super cheap. It's $5 at Walmart. You know, and yeah, you just blend it all the way through and get all the areas where you applied that face makeup. Even if it did get in your eyes, go ahead and put some on your eyes. It's not gonna harm it in any way. So what this does is, instead of like a dewy, oily look, you have more of a natural skin look. Okay, and then also get onto your neck. And your ears too, even. It's gonna stop from moving around on you. So it'll be like it's a thin layer of kind of like protection. And you go as far as you can. Don't worry about blending this part out, because this is just to go ahead and brush away later. It's gonna, we're just gonna brush it off. And you get way down into your neck. And a good tip, so if you are wearing, depends on what chest piece you're wearing. If you are wearing breast inserts with a bra, you're going to want to have to contour your breasts in. If you are wearing a breast piece, like a breastplate or something like that, you can go ahead and basically put it on and then stop wherever, you stop with your makeup wherever it starts. And that way you don't have to go ahead and go down so far. But yeah, this is how you go ahead and you do your foundation. And so you wipe off all the dust off your face, and you have a very seamless looking face after a while. So with this, my foundation is complete. Thank you guys for coming back today and to come watch my videos. I'm so excited for you guys to come. And you know what? Just look at my face and look how different I look. You know, you can do anything with any kind of palette. Makeup is everything. And you can totally go ahead and change your colors no matter what. And you can change your hair no matter what. You can be anyone you want to be. It's just a character. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your family about me, and keep sharing this stuff. These videos are totally shareable. Bye. Let's get fabulous.